Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and for another cycling adventure. My name's Dave and I hope you can join me as I explore an area of Staffordshire which I don't know too well. This morning I find myself in the village of Cosford, which is just north of Wolverhampton, and my plan is this morning to explore some of the country lanes and various off-road opportunities to the west of here as we head over the border into Shropshire. It's a bit chilly, so let me tell you my plan as we get going. Come on. Okay, so straight away we're leaving Cosford now, and I've dropped onto the towpath of the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal. It's beautiful along here already. So the rough plan I have, once we get through the village of Cosford, is to take on some off-roading, because I've seen on the Ordnance Survey map some intriguing bridleways around the estate of Chillington Hall. It could be a complete mud bath, it could be really overgrown, it could be wonderful. Let's hope it's wonderful. Then once we're past Chillington Hall, we're going to head over the border into Shropshire towards the RAF museum at Cosford. And the reason that's one of my destinations today is because I know it has a cafe. We can then start heading back east through the village of Albrighton and north of Codsall until eventually we get to the outskirts of Wolverhampton, where the plan is to skirt around the Jaguar Land Rover factory back to the finish line at Cosford. It should be a lot of fun in an area that I don't know too well, so I'm looking forward to doing some exploring today. Morning. The fishermen are out in force this morning. Right then. Oh, this is cool. Oh, there's something clicking in my wheel. Can you hear that? That's annoying. Well, that was a cool little bridleway linking the canal to the village of Cosford. Now I've just got to work out how to cross this main road and then we're into the village. Okay, we're leaving Cosford now, which was a lovely little quiet village, and we're heading towards Chillington Hall. Now I've got to look out for a turning shortly on the left hand side, and that is a turning into Lower Avenue, which is one of two grand avenues which lead us from the road up to Chillington Hall. Now I don't know how grand it is anymore, but let's find out. It's showing us a bridleway on the Ordnance Survey map, but sometimes these bridleways can be quite overgrown. I think it's here. Okay. Well, this is lovely. This is Lower Avenue, which a couple of 100 years ago would have been a grand entrance towards the stately home at Chillington Hall. But now it's just like a small linear stretch of woodland with this bridleway running through it. Now I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's just a perfectly straight bridleway with trees running down left and right. So now I'm halfway along the very muddy but very pleasant Lower Avenue as we head towards Chillington Hall. But I just stopped to show you something interesting. Now halfway along the avenue is this lovely ornate bridge which carries the avenue over the Shropshire Union Canal. Come and have a look. This is Bridge 10, which is also known as the Avenue Bridge or the Chillington Avenue Bridge, and this was built by Thomas Telford to allow the Gifford family of Chillington Hall to pass overhead. It's such a peaceful and quiet location, the perfect stop on a bike ride to get your breath back. Right, let's head away from the bridge and continue along the avenue. Aha! Here is our first glimpse of Chillington Hall. Okay, so the upper avenue itself is gated off and seems to be part of the private estate, but running parallel to the avenue is a lane, so we're going to take the lane and go and have a look at the hall. So this is the end of Upper Avenue, and this should be the entrance proper to Chillington Hall. Let's have a look what we can see. So there it is, Chillington Hall, built in the 18th century for the Gifford family, and it's a private estate, so I'm going to have to skirt round. So my plan is now to go to the right around the edge of the estate lands and pick up a bridleway called Brick Kiln Lane, which will take us to the border between Staffordshire and Shropshire. Okay, so the estate lands are on my left hand side here as I head along this lane, and very shortly I should be able to turn off onto a bridleway shown on the Ordnance Survey map as Brick Kiln Lane, and I think it might be here. Looks a pretty cool bridleway so far, but you never know with these things. You could get halfway along and all of a sudden it just turns into a complete impassable, overgrown mud bath. So let's hope it doesn't do that, and it's a good little run. Oh, it's so slippy. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Seems to level out in a second, thankfully. The end of the off-road section, and now I'm going to turn right and join Donington Lane, which will take us towards Albrighton and Cosford. Oh, my wheels are so muddy. Leaves and mud stuck to them. Hopefully clean them off now along this lovely tarmac. Now unfortunately I've got to join this main road just for a little while. Something I don't like doing. In fact, I hate riding on main roads. But sometimes it's the only way to link up the lanes, so I have to grin and bear it. I'm guessing as we approach the Royal Air Force Base that these houses that are behind a giant fence are military houses. Well, I didn't realise just exactly how massive the Royal Air Force Base is here at Cosford. It just goes on for miles and miles. And here we are at the airfield. If I follow this road around, it will eventually lead us to the RAF museum. Morning mate, what's the best way for me to the museum? Cheers mate, thank you. Cycle rack. Oh, there. Excellent. Great little cafe. I'm refueled now and ready to continue the ride. I was really tempted to stay and spend the next few hours walking around the museum, but unfortunately need to get back, so that's one for another day. The museum itself is free, so it's a great day out. I think you just have to pay for car parking, but if, like me, you turn up on the bike, then it's free. And now I'm refueled. We're going to head back east, back towards Wolverhampton. There's a cycleway next to the main road, so yeah, I don't have to do any more main road biking today. So that was Albrighton. Quite a large village actually. One I've never been to before. But now, back onto the country lanes. Now, although there's no sign, this crossroads marks the border between Shropshire and Staffordshire. So now I'm back home in Staffordshire. Whoa. Room for me to squeeze? Thank you. We may only be a few miles outside of Wolverhampton here, but you could be in the middle of nowhere. These are some lovely country lanes. I'm really enjoying this. Another little bit of off-roading. I love it. God, can I get through here? I don't even know if that was a public right of way, but it's leading me back onto the road and nobody's shouting at me, so that's a win. And now we come on to the last section of the ride. It's showing as a cycleway on the map, and it skirts around the huge Jaguar Land Rover factory. So let's check it out. The Monarch's Way. Okay, so thanks to the information board that I just read, I'm now on the Monarch's Way, which I hadn't heard of, and it's over 600 miles long, consisting of footpaths and bridleways, and it follows roughly the route taken by King Charles II after he was defeated at the Battle of Worcester. But I don't reckon it looked like this back then. So I'm presuming this path was built as part of the construction of the I-54 business park, which is this huge industrial area on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. Oh yeah, this is lovely. Wow! Check out the solar panels. Hundreds of them. So cool. So as we head towards the end of this path, this will bring us out back in Coven Heath, where our journey ends. So that's another ride complete. Bike's back in the car, ready to go home. I've got a can of pop waiting for me. It was a bit of a tough one that towards the end. It was quite windy as we were heading back from Albrighton back towards Coven. But it was a great ride. It's been a lovely winter's morning. It stayed dry, which is a bonus, and haven't got too muddy either, which is great too. Well, I really enjoyed that ride, which was around an area of Staffordshire and Shropshire I didn't know too well, so it's been quite an adventure today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.